What is going on, everybody? My name's Dakota and welcome back to Kotascolognes. Today we're going to be looking at and reviewing Angel Share by Kilian. Alrighty, so this evening I was poking around in the cabinet and I was wanting to wear something a little more relaxing, a little more inviting, maybe something a little reminiscent of the evening. So one of my favorite evening scents is going to be Angel Share by Kilian. This has such a beautiful rum note in it that it makes for a wonderful evening fragrance. So what I'm gonna do is show off the atomizer on this one. And the atomizers on these are very good. They're not big on volume coming out, but it's very pressurized, it's very aerated. So you get a good burst that comes out. And then when this hits the air, this one, the magic is definitely in the air. This has a beautiful rum note that comes off to the top. This has a nice cinnamon note in it. It's got a little bit of a woody nature to it as well. There's oak in this, and that's just what you get off the top. So this one to me dries down beautifully, but I love the opening on this. You get a heavy dose of that cognac. You get a lot of that cinnamon. It's got a little bit of a spicy bite to it. It's a beautiful blend that smells incredibly natural that you just want to gravitate to. But as this gets drowned down a little bit, I'm gonna get into the notes and we'll be back in a minute. Alrighty, as we get into these notes, we're going to get into the top notes of cognac, and that is what is going to give this a lot of that boozy nature that this represents, that it is famous for. The middle notes on this are going to be cinnamon, tonka bean, and oak. And the cinnamon, to me, of the middle notes is the most dominating one because that stays all the way through to the dry down. The base notes of this are going to be praline, vanilla, and sandalwood. Now, there is a lot of praline in the base of this. I feel like that works well with the cognac to give it a little bit of that extended boozy nature. But the main thing that I like about the base is the way the vanilla and the oak. To me, that turns this into such a beautifully boozy sweet with a wooded undertone that just works very, very well together. And the sandalwood with some of that woodiness kind of softens it up a little bit. Like, as heavy as this fragrance is, there is a little bit of a lightness to it that makes it worth having. With that being said, let me get y'all flip back around and we'll get into the rest of the breakdown. Alrighty, so I need not much time at all to let this dry down because this is such a beautifully blended fragrance that when this starts to dry down on your skin, it develops a little bit of a woodiness. It keeps a lot of that intense booziness as well, but this also stays very warm. That cinnamon keeps it just a little bit spicy. And then some of that praline and vanilla put such a nice sweetness on this that you wind up with such a beautifully blended, sweet, boozy fragrance that to me, this makes one of the perfect nighttime scents that you could have in your collection. Because this has almost everything you could ask for. It's got a sweetness to it. It's got a warm, inviting nature to it. It's got a relaxingness to it. It's one that'll draw people closer to you. This is probably one of the best date fragrances out there. It's intimate. It makes people want to come in for a little more. To me, this is one of the best night fragrances you could have. So we'll get into the price and availability on this. The price on this for a 50 ml is kind of steep. Your average retailer is probably not going to have this. Discounter wise, this should be everywhere. Average retail on these are going to be about $230 to $250 depending on where you get it. Discounters is a lot cheaper and about that 180-ish range. The best place to actually get these are going to be fragrance groups, or believe it or not, Costco. For some reason, Costco has amazing deals on Kilian fragrances. I don't know why. You can pick this up for like 130 bucks off of Costco when it's in stock. That's the big one. It's almost never in stock because everybody buys them out. So we can get into the performance side of this as well. And that, unfortunately, is where this thing starts to come up significantly short, is the performance. The longevity on this is not that good. The longevity on this is only about 4 or 5 hours on my skin anyway. But while this thing is doing work and it is on your skin, the projection is very good. It's in that 2 foot plus. The sillage is very good. This thing falls away from you beautifully. There's a trail everywhere you would want to go. This will be there. For some reason, the longevity on this just isn't there. I don't know why, because the concentration on this is good. The naturalness of this is good. The stuff that went in this, you would think would be able to last forever, but for some reason, it just doesn't. But the scent quality on this is absolutely amazing though. That's kind of the hard part about dealing with this fragrance, is how good this smells. You would think it has all the properties to want to be a little better on the performance side. It's light, it's boozy, it's airy, but it still has a dark richness to it. It kind of makes you want to go out for a drink. It'll make you want to go out for a date, stuff like that. So this, to me, there's so many good qualities to this, and the performance isn't that good. But if I were to rate this fragrance right now, scent profile, this is going to be a 10 out of 10. Unfortunately, when you factor in the whole package, I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10. One of my favorite fragrances by Kilian, might be my favorite fragrance, is Apple Brandy on the Rocks. This fell in that exact same group. Apple Brandy on the Rocks is a sweet, amazingly beautiful fragrance, just like this, but something about this, they both fall off about that 5-hour range. And for the price point that you get, like if you pay retail for this, it's not worth it on the retail scale. As beautiful as this smells, amazing as this smells, it's not justifiable for the price. Now, if you could pick this up for about 130, it is definitely worth the price there. I would pay 130 for this all day long. For me, this leads itself in my collection to be a date fragrance. Me and my wife chilling at home, my daughters went to sleep, we're just lounging around on the couch, or we're going out for a date or something like that. That's whenever a fragrance like this will shine. So that's where it's at in my collection too. So unfortunately, the performance side is just a little bit weak. Everything about this, absolutely top tier, absolutely amazing. But now that I did a lot of yapping, I do think that is going to get us wrapped up on this fine evening. Go ahead and get it on this bottle one more time. Beautiful bottle, by the way. Like, I absolutely love this presentation. That's about as classy as it gets. But that is going to get us wrapped up. Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you everyone for subscribing, for sticking around, for staying tuned into all this stuff, listening to me talk about fragrances. I truly appreciate all the feedback I get, because that kind of stuff is, to me, is what helps channels grow. So thank you everyone. But as I like to say in every single video, thank you everyone for watching, and we'll see you next time.